What's up, everybody? My name is JT Magnum along with Siggy Guns, and welcome to the fourth quarter, the show where we do 4 topics in 10 minutes and we get them done. All right, let's start this timer and let's get right to the topics.
Let's
First
go.
topic: what is the truth? Richie Incognito and Jonathan Martin. We all know the the whole thing that's going on between the two, and right now, what do you think, Siggy, about it?
Man, I think that this is a bunch of BS. From what I'm getting from all the teammates, at least there's some reports, some unknown sources, some anonymous sources, etc., is that Incognito and Martin were friends and they joke around all the time and they do things like that. And Martin might have freaked out. I think it was more of a personal thing, like maybe he has some bipolar issues or etc. And that might have been it. And then he was embarrassed by it, and then I wouldn't be surprised if whenever this whole bullying stuff happened that he probably just got fed into it. You know what I mean? Like so much was made of it, a big deal. So he was like, okay, the family anyways would probably be like, yeah, that's what it was. He don't want to come out and say he was a wuss about it or that he has some kind of problem. But that's what it looks like to me. I mean, I just don't see how a 6'5" guy could say that he's being bullied. Certainly not whenever you have teammates of his saying that, he was friends with him. So I don't know. Incognito, yeah, he's a little bit crazy, but I mean, a lot of those NFL players are. I think the real problem or the real question is just how far does the culture go between football players? Whether it's divided by race. How does that impact what happens in the locker room? I guess is the main thing because a lot of the things that on taken out of context sound like they're bad, but in the locker room, everybody probably talks like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see it as he kind of exonerated when they did the interview and they talked to Richie Incognito on the weekend. I believe it was Jay Glazer's name is whatever. He
Yeah.
he did the interview and it seems like Jonathan Martin said basically exonerating him. He basically said you didn't do anything. It's just me. Things are going bad and I just and I don't understand why this whole bullying thing came into play. But what I do see is a thing where the players are referring to him as not being black, which I think is the most stupidest thing I ever heard because he's educated. He comes from an educated family. He's very educated himself, went to Stanford. His two parents are from Harvard or graduated from
Mm.
Harvard. Now he is an African American. He's black, but they consider him not black because he's not down or from the hood, which I think is the most stupid and ridiculous thing. And people do that all the time. And I
Yeah.
think that should never. Stephen A. Smith actually touched on that too as well. And I agree with him completely 100%. When you say things like that about your people, your own race, because they're educated and you put them down because of it, you're ignorant and stupid yourselves. So moving on to the
Yeah.
second topic, the good team's gone bad. NBA teams struggling like the Miami Heat, New York Knicks, Brooklyn Nets. Some of the West teams, Clippers are struggling. Phoenix is in first place. What's going on?
Man, I mean, yeah, Phoenix in first place over the Clippers. I don't think anybody probably saw that right away. The Heat are 5-3, but if you start breaking it down, everybody be like, oh, well, they're in first place. But yeah, so are the Warriors, so are the some of these other teams that are not in the same league as them. Philadelphia ahead of the Knicks and the Nets. At one point, Boston, which certainly looked like they were packed it up, in the offseason is ahead, only one game back now. They did lose today, and the Knicks did win, so everybody's one game back. But certainly in the early, beginning part of the year, surprising in my opinion. I certainly would have thought the Knicks, Nets would have been controlling the Atlantic. I certainly would have thought that it wouldn't be the Pacers that were 8-0. I thought maybe it would be the Heat that would be 8-0 at this point. The Bulls at 3-3. I mean, lucky for them, everybody else in that division is horrible. But
Yeah,
that's another team that I didn't see, starting so badly. So
yeah,
yeah, I mean,
I,
surprising.
yeah. I see it as it's early. Teams are
Oh yeah,
always
it's
teams
definitely early.
always struggled. Some of these guys, some of these players are different on new teams. There's teams that are just starting to gel early, or they're starting to get their feet under them, and I just see it as being way too early to judge anything. The season kind of gets judged at the at towards the end of the year, like 3/4 of the way. That's when you start seeing the real teams come on. and halfway
Yep.
and towards the end. So we'll see what happens as the season goes on. But yeah, it is good to see some of the teams coming up, and surprising some other ones. But moving on, the start topic number 3. The start of the madness has begun. College basketball returns with a
Yep.
bang with some good matchups. Duke played Kansas yesterday with 2 good superstars, Jabari Parker and Andrew Wiggins, and then of course Michigan State beat Kentucky, which was 2 versus 1. What'd you think of the games
Oh yeah.
yesterday? Did you catch both of them or?
I only caught one of them. They were pretty late. I'm not in the West Coast. Me and you are. I'm
You were
Central.
East
You're
Coast, yeah.
East. We didn't get to see some of all the action that was going on, but certainly the game, obviously 1 and 2, that matchup. It's you start wondering about Kentucky. Last year, Kentucky was also ranked 1, and they didn't really do too good at the end of the year. So we'll see how good that team is. I feel bad for Kentucky because they have like the most promising freshmen, and then they go straight to the NBA afterwards, and they don't get to build,
Yeah.
some of the chemistry that some of these schools have. Like Michigan State, I think they're returning a bunch of people. I mean, every other school pretty much does, except for Kentucky.
Yeah, it doesn't look like the guys, Jabari Parker and Andrew Wiggins, they're probably going to the NBA next year as well. But it was good to see them in action, good to see them facing each other, and Jabari Parker played well. I thought a little bit that he could have passed a little bit more to his teammates. Like he was asking for the ball a lot, and he was doing a lot of stuff on his own. It seemed like, which he's good. But I think towards the as the year goes on, I think he's going to have to start passing the ball and trusting his teammates. I know he's a freshman. I know he's a stud. He's a star and everything. But I saw it as Andrew Wiggins. He seemed like he was doing very well himself, but I didn't see all the hype yet. But I'm sure that'll change as the year goes on. But I don't know. We'll see.
He's projected to be the first pick, right?
Oh yeah, him and Parker will probably be 1 and 2. And I don't know. From what I saw, Parker looked like the better player yesterday. But that's just me. But moving on, 4th and last topic, NFL playoff predictions. Who's in and who's out?
Good question. Let's go ahead and start off. Let's go by division real quick. All right, so NFC East is going to be the most intriguing one. Cowboys currently 1, with the Philadelphia Eagles right on their heels. Then it's the Redskins, Giants at 3 and 6. Who do you think is going to win the division right now?
I think the Eagles are going to win the division. With
Yeah,
the way the schedule plays out, I feel like the Eagles actually have the advantage right now, and they seem to have the hottest quarterback going into it.
That's true.
Although Tony
Yeah,
Romo's
but I'm
playing
not
well, their defense is playing horrible.
The Cowboys' defense is definitely what's going to make it to where it's not that good. And then if they have to play each other, it might come down to that last game of the year.
Who's your number 1 seed in the NFC?
NFC, period?
Or who do you think is going to be the number 1 seed, then number 2? Who's going to get the bye weeks? I'm saying Seattle and New Orleans are going to get the number 1 and number 2 seed.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised, looking at the schedules, if the Saints overtake Seattle at number 1.
And I think it's going to be. I actually think it's going to be Denver, and number 2 being New England in the East or the AFC. I'm sorry, because I think Denver's going to. I think Denver's going to overtake Kansas City. They're going to beat them twice.
Yeah, I do too. I certainly think that.
The oddballs out. I think it's going to be. I think the wild cards. I think it's going to be Philadelphia in the East. I think Detroit's going to win the North. I see New Orleans. I see Seattle. I see San Francisco and possibly Green Bay or Chicago, depending, or maybe even Carolina. So Carolina might sneak in there as the 6th. So I see Green Bay and Chicago being out with their injuries to quarterback. If Aaron Rodgers was there, it'd be a different story.
Yeah. I mean, that's shocking, but I mean, apparently he's trying to come back for Thanksgiving. We'll see if that happens. As far as the AFC goes, I think the Jets have a good chance. Then again, it's wide open. I mean, we're looking at teams like, obviously the Chiefs are going to be there, but you can't even count out, I mean, at this point, Tennessee, the Dolphins. That's why it looks tough. That's why I think for sure it's going to be the Jets or the Chargers.
I think it's going to be New England, Denver, Kansas City, Cincinnati, Indianapolis, and the oddball out might be the Jets. I actually think the Jets pull out the 6th seed.
Yeah,
So
I think they'll pull up the 60. They should. They have a chance to.
yeah. Well, that's it for the topics, guys. We'd like to thank you for watching the fourth quarter. If you have any topic suggestions, we haven't had any yet since we started the show, but we don't know if you guys you guys just must like our topics, like I said last time. But leave comments. Let us know your thoughts on what we talked about today, and let us know who you like, or who you think is going to be in for the playoffs. What you thought about the college basketball season starting off. NBA team struggling, and Incognito and Martin. We'd love to hear feedback. We'd love to hear comments. We'd love to read them. So, and if you don't know how to do it, it's through Google Plus now. They changed all the comments. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the comment section. So everything's shared through Google Plus now. So feel free to share the video on Google Plus as well if you have it, or share it on Twitter, Facebook, whatever you want to. Just it's good to let some other people know that we have a nice little sports show for you guys. All right. So Siggy, you got anything to add?
There you go. No, just leave your comments in the comment section below.
All right, fourth quarter, we out. Peace.